Good evening, good evening. I believe I am live now. Just gonna give it a second, make sure my connection is all right before I start editing. Just checking if my video is live as well. Okay. Seems to be working. All right, so today I'm doing something a little bit different. I've got a photograph I took some time ago. Actually did quite a few photographs in this property. Pretty nice penthouse in London in Embassy Gardens. And yeah, I've took quite a few different photographs. This was actually on, I think, the first day I went to take the different shots. So it was during the sunset time. So I got a pretty nice light. There was a lot of kind of orange, yellow cast coming from outside. Gives it nice, warm feeling. So unfortunately, on this particular day, I only had my regular 12 to 24 millimeters. And then the other one I usually carry with me just to have as a backup is the kit lens, which is 28 to 70, which is not the best quality. So I normally shoot with my Sigma 24 to 70 art lens. But yeah, in situations like that where I don't have it, I have to do with what I have. And yeah, the quality of the lens is not the best, definitely. And on top of that, I totally forgot a couple things that I was supposed to do. So first of all, I left my f-stop at 8, which was a terrible idea because I think this was shot at around 35 millimeters, somewhere around that. So we have a problem with some focus here. It's not too bad, but yeah, a little bit messy. And on top of that, I was supposed to also do focus stacking, and I forgot. So after I took, first I think I took my flash layers. So I went around, lit the place up, and then I was taking photographs with natural light, with the lights on, and then natural light itself. And then I was supposed to take another natural light, but with the focus moved. But anyway, this didn't happen. So anyway, long story short, I shot quite a few different things. Now I've kind of prepared the raw files in Capture One already, and I've loaded them in the stack in Photoshop. And I've kind of moved the layers around to kind of give ourselves a little bit kind of start ahead. So I'm going to try and edit basically kind of in 3 styles, which is something I like doing quite a lot recently. One where it is natural light, and to be honest, for this particular one, I really have only 2 frames. Then I have the ones with the lights on, so kind of from darker to brighter. I actually have more frames here than for my ambient layers. And then a window exposure. So actually there's 2 of them. Instead of kind of using curves, I can just use 2 different exposures. And that's about it. The thing is that basically I want to keep kind of this warmer feeling to the photograph, and I want to be a little bit more moody. So I don't want it really to be super bright. Then we have our Flambient, so very similar. I think I'm using basically the same natural light layers. And what I did actually, if you see, there's a different color temperature on the darkest exposure. This is basically for the window. And then I have my regular flash frame. So one which blasts everything with the light behind the camera. I took one kind of from the left-hand side. Then we have one kind of from the right-hand side. And then I've got kind of, to be honest, something that I would be happy to use anyway, but kind of like a backup layer. So that's what we're going to use. And then I've got my Moody edit. This one usually has the most frames. So I had a few different things that I was testing out here. I was testing an umbrella. I was testing out shooting directly from my, that was 8600 BM with the reflector on, reflector with the grid, as I said, umbrella, bouncing off the ceiling, then shooting directly. So quite a few different ones, but obviously I pre-selected some frames that I want to use. So kind of this is kind of what I would use for my base. I would typically use kind of the darkest one I have for the base, and then use any other ones to light up any other areas. So I have obviously a shot here from where the window is to light up from here. Now a side note, on the left hand side here you can see unfortunately I couldn't move these. They were done in a way where they had to kind of fold on the right hand side of the window, the curtains, so I couldn't move them out to get the view. So they're here as they are, but basically there's another like 3 windows on the left hand side, and then further along you have a kitchen with more windows. So the light is also, in theory, natural light is also coming from the left hand side, and this is actually why you have those 3 kind of streaks of light here, because there's, as I said, there's 3 windows on the left. So yeah, I have a few different frames. This is kind of almost like this one, but more light here. And then I've got another one, and then like super bright one, which I really think I wanted to use for the windows here. We'll see how it works out. To be honest, I don't really have like a super strict plan on what I'm going to do. And then I have what I would have called accent lighting. And I think we'll have to, anyway, we have accent lighting. So I was using my 8600 with reflector, and I was just, it had a grid as well. So I was lighting up different parts of the image. So just to accent a few things here and there. And this was kind of around here, as you can see. If I turn it on and off, you can see where the light falls. Then I had one for highlights. So shooting kind of directly from the window and at a lower angle, as you can see, kind of highlights around the furniture, pillows, and so on, from a few different spots in a few different areas. So I'm not sure if I'm going to use all of them, but we have a selection of those. And then the other one I wanted to kind of highlight was have a cool light somewhere around the chairs, especially if we're going to enable those lights here. So again, they're very kind of similar to each other. And yeah, we'll see what we can do with those. So yeah, that's pretty much it when it comes to accent lighting. Then obviously you have lights and natural light as well. So let's, I'm going to start actually with natural light here, and I'm going to enable this layer and see kind of, so I think I want to light up a little bit the mid part of the image, maybe kind of around the window in here. So instead of doing any, okay, we can actually try doing blending. So I've got an action actually to create channels. I think I have it here. Unfortunately, I don't. So in this case, I think it's saved in my other set. So I'm just going to use Lumencia, and I'm going to select maybe darks 2. Let's see what it gives us. Okay, new version. I'm gonna update later. Okay, I think maybe even we're gonna go down a bit more. 2.5, maybe 3. Yeah, I'm gonna leave it at 2.5, and let's use the mask here. Okay, let's see. That's not bad. Let's put it in a group, and I'm just gonna put a black mask on that. I don't want to really light up the back of the couch and so on, so I'm just gonna light up or paint in the areas where we have the window. Maybe, as I said, here as well. Okay. Let's see if I add curves layer based on that selection. So I'm going to do a little bit of an S curve around the dark areas, like the shadows. And do we want to add more here? No, we're using curves in normal mode. If I put it in luminosity, you'll see there's not much shift in the color. So I need to figure out if I want to leave it in luminosity or normal. Normal adds quite a bit of warmth. To be honest, I kind of like it here. You know, this is supposed to give us some kind of a feeling rather than having like desaturated walls. So I think I'm going to stick to the normal layer here. Okay, I think that is a decent change. Let me add this into a group. And what I might do is just remove a little bit of that contrast from the chair, because it's darker here, and it's that curves makes it even more darker. So another thing I might do is put another curves adjustment layer. Let me just put it at the top, and I'm going to kind of brighten it. Let's invert. I'm kind of just going to paint in where the chair is, roughly. So brighten. So kind of this is what it does. Let's drop opacity a little bit. So in terms of the main blend, I think, to be honest, I'm all right with that. Let's rename it to base. Then we have lights. So I don't even know actually if I want to put the lights on here. Let's see if we put this in lighten mode. Oops. Right, lighten. And let's see if we add curves. So I'm really not sure about the lights. I think actually, let's leave this one maybe in screen mode, add curves and drop here. Let's see, maybe this one in luminosity. Just kind of where the light streaks are. All right, I might leave it kind of like that. All right, window. So the only good thing about this is that I'll be able to reuse masks for the window between all 3 different shots. So that's going to save us some time. So let's add a black mask, and I'm just going to use, actually let's use the pen tool. I'm going to try and be a little bit more accurate in a way. It's kind of the boring part of the job. I don't want to slack too much with the selection, so it might be a little bit boring, this part for you guys, because I'm going to be working on that selection. see where we are. Okay, so it goes down here. Oops. Okay, this is kind of the end here, and then there's a curtain. Okay, so we've got the chair. Yeah, for kind of stuff like that, the curves on the pen tool are really nice. Right, in theory this should be a straight line, but I am going to do it in a few different points here. Okay. So right, we've got a section. I'm going to press Control Enter for the selection. Should we? Maybe we'll put 0.4 feather radius. Okay. And this is the darker version. I'm gonna put it inside a group, mask it. I'm just gonna paint in where the sky is, so the sky is a little bit more visible. And maybe let's drop opacity to like 50%. Okay. So normally I would do some color correction, but to be honest, as I said, this shot is supposed to have this feel here. There's a few kind of distracting things here, so we might work on those. Let's create new layer. Let's call it fixes. And I'm just going to use the remove tool to start with for kind of a Oh no, actually let's use the healing brush, I think. Those ones are going to be faster than waiting for the tool to process the stuff. So I'm just quickly gonna go around to do a quick scan. I think, to be honest, those things I can remove. I think just for the ventilation. Checking for sensor dust. In general, okay, I think that looks decent. I'm not a fan of those shadows for those lights here for the standing lamp. I'm really not sure if I want to leave them or not. You know, they are there. So in a way, I think that's what we're gonna leave. Without it's a little bit less distracting. I really don't know. I'm torn here. Yeah, to be honest, I think I'm gonna leave it. I kind of prefer it without, but I think it will seem kind of fake that way. I'm just gonna change to remove tool, see if we can get these cables removed here. I'm actually going to include that shadow here as well. Let's see if it does an okay job here. To be honest, with the remove tool, I'm not too bothered. Actually, okay, that looks pretty decent. Okay, first let's remove the rest and then fix. I'm not that bothered if it's gonna make like an amazing job. As long as it like improves it quite a bit, I can manually fix the rest as well, so it's not too big of a problem. But I'm actually quite surprised because that tool actually is doing some pretty heavy lifting with good results. So there are a couple of problems to resolve there. I think I'm going to remove that just to be consistent. Okay, that's not the best job. So let's see if we can just remove the cable first. Okay, I think I'll accept it. I'll even do it that way. Okay. Should we leave the switch like this? Maybe not. Okay, let me swap to healing brush. We're just going to kind of fix those little areas. So I said somewhere previously with the healing brush tool, as soon as you get to areas that are very contrasty, you can find yourself in a spot where everything becomes super smudged. So for those situations, I usually like to use clone stamp tool and then just fade in, maybe using the healing brush after that. I think generally you want to probably use your remove tool, and then if it doesn't do a great job, move to the other ones. Okay, I don't want to spend too much time on this one, so I think we're somewhere. There's so many cranes, they're always building stuff around here. And to be honest, I think I'm going to leave it like that. a little bit tempted to see, let's make a new layer, I'll call it color, put it in color mode. And I'm just going to sample the color here and see if it's worth adding a little bit of color to this one. I think it makes it look a little bit more natural. Maybe we'll drop a little bit of the opacity. Yeah, I think, yeah, I'm going to leave it at that. Maybe one more other thing. See if I can kind of light this up a little bit more here. Kind of, anyway, that, you know, the there's like a TV missing here, furniture is somewhat, I just quickly arranged it more or less. I didn't have much time left at that time. I was actually taking a few shots looking the other way, so I was rushing to try and get, while there was still the sunset, to get this shot. Okay, I'm going to actually leave this one like that. I'm more or less happy. The final adjustments I'll do in Lightroom later on. Let's move to our Flambient. So I'm going to do my ambient 3 flash action here, just to spare us some time. Okay. And the other thing I'm going to do is, yeah, let's just copy the full window folder actually. Oops. Needs to go to Flambient. Okay. I'm gonna save some time here later on the window, as you can see. Okay, there's a little bit of this black line here, so we might work on that. I don't think it's, you don't really see it here. I can kind of just see it here, but it's negligible here at this point, so let's worry about that later. All right. So let's paint myself out here. And yeah, unfortunately I haven't done too many frames for Flambient, so it is somewhat lacking. Let's see this one. Yeah, so this area is a little bit better lit up. I'm going to slightly work on this. Just, there was a little bit of a shadow here, which I didn't like, so just painted this one in. And we've got our flash base. First, I'm going to deal with my darken and see what I want to darken here in general. So this here is a little bit off. I kind of like it as you turn it on and off. You can see which areas you might want to work on. I think, to be honest, it's not bad. I don't really want to darken the other stuff. This is a Flambient, so I'm looking for fairly bright image, something that a estate agent wants to put on their website, because as we know, they really do prefer bright images. Oops, need to paint on the mask. Yeah, I think I'll need to add curves. Unfortunately, as I said, I didn't take too many, so I'm just going to brighten it up here. And a little bit of a curve. Okay. I think in terms of the flush base, I'll call it done. So we're going to have, obviously, as you can see, the light was moving really fast. So the window, the sun coming through the window, so you can see how much change there is on ambient. So we'll have to avoid that. We either use ambient in color mode and kind of use that, or we just stick with the flash, which I think we just might stick with the flash. Okay, let's do that first. So I have to remove 100% here. Let's do color fixes. So I probably am looking at the walls to remove some color cast. Probably don't want to do it too much. Okay, I think this one is still kind of where it's white. I think I'll keep it like that. Let's say okay on that. Yeah, there's yellows everywhere. So we're gonna go down maybe 20. Let's put in a group. I'm gonna add a white mask, and then I'm just going to paint black to bring back that yellow here. Not sure if it affected the chair, but I'm just gonna paint it out just in case. Any fixes? So this one here, and in terms of the rest, I think I'm going to leave it, since this is supposed to be Flambient real estate. I'm not going to remove stuff. I'll just leave it like that, even those here. And then let's just add that window back in. Let's put it in the group and add the mask, and then just going to go in here. Here we go. So that line is removed. That looks decent. So let's save that. want lights, possibly. Let's try screen mode here on the darkest one, but let's drop. Okay, it's roughly similar exposure, so let's do it like that. We're adding a black mask, and I'm just going to paint in okay. And this one, let's see if we put in luminosity, add curves, I think, and we might want to brighten up. All right, let's mask that. Something like that. Okay. And perhaps another curves. Light up and add a little bit more contrast. Darken. Or put a mask. Just do a little bit on the artwork. And a little bit on the chair here. Okay. I do think that's it. So let's save that. Let's go back to this one, see if we... It's on the white mask. I think I'm going to try remove that. All right, I think that looks better. We've got our flambient, so it's still fairly darkish, but we're just gonna expand on the final adjustments later on. Let's go down the Moody edit. So just a little bit of kind of a hand blending. Actually, what we might want to do is copy that as well to the Moody edit. Okay. Okay, we'll see if we need to adjust that in a little bit. Kind of edges I want a little bit darker. Okay, we have some shadows here that are a little bit annoying, so I might actually work on them later on when I'm doing fixes. We'll see. Yeah, this one seems a little bit off compared to the rest, so let's put it in difference mode here. See if we can align that. I think this is the closest we'll get here. Yeah. Yeah, we might not be able to use this frame. I think there's also rotation on here, so that okay, so I think now the pillows match, I think. But that's going to be messed up, so I think we will have to get rid of that. Okay. So just going on the accent lighting, just going to paint in lightly. Some of those. Let's look at highlights. This is kind of a tedious work here. Trying to figure out what you want to use. Okay. Let me change everything here to lighten. Okay. Now we only let through only the lighter stuff, with each one set to lighten, but we're bringing also in some more stuff that's a little bit unwanted. Okay, I think this spot is a little bit too hot, so that works better. Like this one here. Maybe that floor one. Not like too much, but add a little bit there. Maybe not. Okay, let's get rid of that. The only thing is this thing here. If we want to have that shadow coming from there, it's actually not too bad. Just because you could say the light is coming from the window. But obviously the light really is coming from the window, but from the left-hand side. So it doesn't match it that much. I'm not sure if we want to keep it or not. I'll probably get rid of it. It's kind of not adding much. And then we have the chair. Okay. That's what I'm looking to add. Which we might need to work with the shadow. We'll see. But I think we might need to. Okay. Yeah, I think this one doesn't work. It's too bright. This one might. I can add a little bit of light. You see, I don't really want to add light on left-hand side in theory, but the light is coming here. This is kind of facing back to the light. So in theory, that kind of works. Just brightens up a little bit here. That's about it. Let's see. Do we want to add highlights to here? Probably not. I think I'm just going to get rid of that. Okay. Lights, so let's put it in lighten mode. And paint it in. Try and fade out the edges because they have a little bit of the discoloration that you often get with lighten mode layers. And this one we'll probably put in luminosity, and let's add curves. Okay, that's actually not too bad. It darkens quite a bit, which I kind of want to really do in the in that Moody photograph. I think we'll have to be kind of careful here. That fixes a little bit of that problem with the light we had, or the shadow, but it's discolored. But again, this is just a bit of a fix we can put on that in a moment. And I'm going to remove luminosity from the center of that light. Okay, let's see. Let's add a color layer. Let's put it in color mode. I'm going to select this one. Just so it doesn't look like it's burned out. Try and put a little bit more color here. And I think our luminosity is causing the problem with the light or sun coming through the window, so I'm just going to remove that. So one thing that this actually luminosity lights layer added here for us is we have a little bit more of darker spots here, so it actually adds a little bit more mood. See, this one is quite bright. As soon as we add it, it actually adds darkened area here, and actually where the window is, where the light is coming from the window, it shines through those curtains, which I also like. Then we have our natural light there. So let's see. Can also put that in luminosity. Let's see about getting some curves going here. So we might put it underneath the lights. Okay. Mm-hmm. Right, let's see if there's any areas I want to make a little bit darker. Still have a little bit of that tint of red or purple there. I can try and maybe use the color action mode here to eliminate that instead of fading again with the mask. I think with the color, if I do it with color, it does look a little bit fake. The line is too strong, so we're gonna have to fade it out. Okay. Alrighty. And then we have our window. I think let's make a copy. Let's merge the group. And I'm going to apply a camera raw filter. And let's go to color. see about adding a little bit more green tint and more white. Sorry, the yellow. Let's see. Yeah, I think it fits a little bit better. Let's go to curves. Just going to pull it down a little bit. Okay. Okay, let's get the curves. Pull it down. Let's go to marquee tool. See if we can add a little vignette maybe. Oops. First, let's feather this. Let's see by 100. Oops. Okay. Okay. I'm also thinking, let's try something out here. Okay. Let's try and blur that. Alright, I'm not sure if I really like it. I think it's a little bit overkill. Possibly if we maybe cut it off around here. All right. I think I'm just going to leave it like that. So let's sort out a couple of fixes. we go again with removing cables. Okay. Okay, I'm going to switch to healing brush and just smooth out some things that were left a little bit weird looking by the remove tool. All right, that's going the wrong way, so let's back up. Try and do a little bit smaller changes here. Switch to a clone stamp. Okay. We might add some curves. Okay. Man, I'm so tired, I can't even speak, just editing. Still a little bit much. Okay, I think. All right. Okay, I think I'm too tired right now. It's too late for me. Okay, I might just leave it. Right. Let me save this one. This one usually takes a while to save. It's got quite a few layers. Actually, I wouldn't be surprised if we're gonna get a warning that the file is too big and it has to save it as PSB, but we'll see. The file, this diff already is saved using zip compression. Okay, maybe while this is saving, let me see if I can open Lightroom. Alright, I've got the Flambient, Moody, which is being saved, and natural light. Okay. Little changes here and there. Okay, very small changes here. See if we can add some clarity. Okay, I think it works here. Okay. Can look at the tone curve. Okay, very small changes. Okay, I'm gonna add some sharpening. Let's do quite heavy masking, maybe around 80, I think. And then I'm going to get the verticals. I guess somewhat we could use those lines here, but I don't really have much choice. The other kind of longer line goes almost, actually it's to the left of the center even. So it's not ideal. And the other ones are too short. Plus, let's go back to detail. I think the amount needs to be trimmed down a little bit. Maybe to 20. All right, let's try this one here. have a look. Not much change at all. Okay, let's look at Flambient. I'm going to definitely make it a little bit on the brighter side. Okay. Let's synchronize. Let's do crop and transform. And we're still waiting for the Moody edit to be saved. Oh, it did save already, so this one just hasn't updated here. Okay, let's import settings from disk. Okay. All right. I'm gonna add some contrast here and pull the whites up. I think we're gonna drop shadows as well. I am torn here. Man, I'm too tired to think about this. Yeah, the contrast definitely helps. I think it looks decent enough. Do we want to stylize? Maybe we add a little bit yellow to highlights. Kind of like it. What about the shadows? Do we want to add? Do we want to add blue? No, that's not really going to work very well. So let's reset. Let's look at our midtones. I think I'm gonna pull them down a little bit again. Okay. What about just adding? No, I really prefer color grading here and just adding yellow to the highlights. I think that's about it, really. So at some points here and to very I think I might pull it down on the highlights as well. I don't know, it kinda it's a little bit more toned down. But it's again starting to lack a little bit in contrast. We could pull the mid-tones here a little bit as well, which I think is gonna smooth it out. Hello, sir. Yeah, I'm way too tired, man. Let's put on a full screen. So we've got our, what I would call flambient, got a moody, and natural light. 3 different ones. Yeah, I'm really like getting into working on moody looking photographs. I have a lot of what I would call maybe drama. Like that that light accent, which was basically me trying to kind of mimic or follow a little bit of that light from the standing lamp, I think creates quite I don't know, I like this chair kind of empty sitting here, but it's kind of lit up. It almost feels like, okay, sit down and enjoy the sunset, you know, like in the sofa chair. You know, here in the flambient, it's just like everything's kind of flat looking, even though I didn't make it super flat as well. Like I didn't use all of the flash from behind the camera. I just filled in some of the shadow areas a little bit, but not like fully. So it still had some definition, but it looks quite flat compared to that. You know, got some more definition here. Yeah, and I like color on natural light. This looks quite quite nice and warm. Don't know why it's not loading the image here. Here we go. Yeah. And I think the moody shot is the only shot that I've changed the color balance on the outside, on the window. The rest is kind of much brighter, leaning more towards blue-ish and purple tint. And then the moody one had a little bit more, I guess, yellow, and then pulled down on or added a little bit of green, which I kind of like. And the sky looks, to me, a bit more aqua kind of blue, which is quite nice. But yeah, that's about it, really. I was quite tired doing this, but I like dealing with 3 different styles of editing. There'll be definitely more coming, but to be honest, I need to be in a little bit better state. It's almost 3 o'clock at night here, so it's time for me to hit the hay. So thank you very much for watching. Apologies that I haven't been narrating as much probably as typically I would, but I was just more chilling and doing edits. So yeah, hopefully next one I can give some more of narration and some explanation of what I'm doing and why. All right, thanks for checking out the video. If you made it that far, please leave a like. That helps a lot with the exposure of the channel. And I'll see you in the next one. Good night.